You've been coming in here since you were 13.
Here we go.
To fix so you don't have to deal with
Can you just...
I'm loving Silo season 2. Now, first of all, Claire, we only just met Carla at the end of season 1, but she has so much history with Martha. Can you talk about where their relationship is now that Walker has made her way down again or up?
Yeah, I think that their hearts are tentative. I think they both know there's a lot of feeling, but there's also been a lot of time. I wouldn't say a lot of water under the bridge because they haven't seen each other. So it's that kind of, they've been apart. And I think Carla has had to just get on with life. It's 25 years. So after a while, she just gets on with life. She's obviously heard that Martha doesn't come out of her workshop. So, you know, at the end of season 1, when she comes, that's a big thing. Yeah, and I suppose it's one of those moments where do you dare to hope or do you not dare to hope? But she's not, you know, she's not out there and she's not gushy. So all the hope is inside and she's keeping herself at a distance, but reluctant for Martha to disappear again. Yeah, she doesn't want that to happen.
Nor do I. Harriet, the moment when Martha makes the choice to finally leave her workshop because she has to help Juliette, what was that like to play for you? And what is she going through then? How does that change her as a person?
Well, it's extraordinary, really. It's an act of imagination because obviously I've never been in that situation. One of the hardest things as an actor to imagine is time. I mean, you can just about imagine a situation, but to think of it multiplied by 25 years is really hard for the imagination to take on board. So, but I think she can't imagine it either. I think she's sort of living day to day and just this huge motivation for the only person in her sphere that she really cares about, like her own daughter. She curses herself for her own timidity, for her own caution and her own fears. And she's fighting herself, really. She's just fighting herself. And then, of course, the sort of commensurate excitement that she's managed to do it, I think, gives her a confidence that drives her through season 2. And very like Claire described, there's a sort of tentativeness about the relationship with Carla. I'm obliged to open that up again for the sake of Juliette and the silo, I think. But I also think that what's interesting about the relationship between these two women is that we don't know enough of the history to know who's the dominant one, who broke it up, who wants who back. And I feel that Martha needs Carla a bit more because Carla has been very self-contained, very operative within the community, whereas Martha's been very locked down and sort of now she's opened that up. She's opened up all her feelings, you know, not just her engagement with the silo and Juliette, but all her feelings, and the history between them is what we like is that it's not explicit, it's implicit. We have these little secrets we can hold and we don't quite know what the other one's thinking, which means during the whole season, the whole story that's played out in season 2, neither of us quite knows who to trust, and that plays well into the storytelling.
Absolutely. And speaking of being operative, Carla, after being, you know, just in supply, you're now like kind of launched headfirst into like the growing rebellion. And you made one of the first like active choices to make the world aware that there is some lie going on outside by switching that tape. Can you talk about how does Carla feel in this new situation? How is she going to participate in, you know, the return of Flame Keepers, if you will? I
think that Carla, whereas everybody else in the silo is probably, you know, living day to day. There's probably a lot of people who hope that one day outside will be safe. But Carla knows exactly how much hardware there was to support the infrastructure of the silo, how much was in supply when the silo was built and how much there is now. So she's kind of more aware of the fragility of their world, of the need to provide for the future and what they can provide for the future in terms of just the things that we need daily. Parts for, construction, parts for the mines, parts for the farms, clothing, she knows about everything that's needed. And so I think without her going out there and going, guys, this is what's happening, she's, even though I think it's something that it's not at the forefront of her mind, but I think part of that links with her natural passion to say, we need to take control of our world. We need more answers. We need things to change. So yeah, I think that's what drives her in terms of the rebellion.
Harriet, of course, I imagine Juliette's exit from the silo is what is driving Martha right now. But can you talk about how she hopes to carry on Juliette's legacy?
I think she is keen to spot the people who might carry Juliette's legacy forward, because she doesn't know for sure at all that, she actually suspects Juliette must have run out of the good air, and that her life is finite, but she feels that her spirit lives on. I mean, it's almost, it's not religious, but it's the same idea behind having an iconic figure who you keep alive in some way, spiritual or otherwise, to give courage and incentive to other people. And I think she really does feel that probably in Shirley and Knox there are and other people she feels have got have caught the Juliette spirit, and she's relying on that to carry people forward, because we're both sort of nearly out of it in terms of our age group. It's got to be the future is in their hands, and whether Juliette's alive or not, the vital component is the curiosity and the courage to find out more. And yeah.
Claire, do you think that Carla believes Juliette is dead as well, or is there any chance she thinks she's made it?
Yeah, I don't think she's a dreamer. So I think she would like to have hope, but she's of a certain age, and every single person that's gone out there they've watched die. She saw her go over the hill, but they've seen nothing else. So I don't think she would allow herself to think that she was alive, even though in the back of her mind, it's like, that's probably one of the tiny things that sparks the revolutionary passion, because something has happened that has never happened before. At a time when people are seeking answers, and those answers, they're being blocked from those answers, and those answers are being denied. So it's like something has changed. But I don't think she's thinking that she's alive. But I think in that respect that she's keeping her alive, that the idea of Juliette is alive in her, because yeah, something's changed, something different has happened. And I mean, if you think that, they've been down there for generations and that has never happened before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's alive in that way. She's alive as an idea of change. That's what I'd say, yeah.
I love that. And then finally, the show is ultra popular, so I have to imagine it will go on as long as they can make it go on. But characters do not necessarily last that long. So should your characters make it to a season 3, what would you like to explore about them?
Well, I'd love to be reunited with Juliette, obviously, if she's out there, and I think I might have to, well, I don't know, we've got the insoluble problem of, if we carry on our relationship, where do we live? Because I'm deeply embedded in my little workshop.
She's down there.
And she's deeply embedded in supply. Yeah. And we're both going to get more and more rheumatic, and it's going to be harder and harder for us to climb those stairs. Yeah. So unless...
with our old knees.
Yeah. I mean, unless part of our rebellion is that we devise a way of creating some kind of elevation system.
Rebel with a lift.
Or I hand over the mechanical, the toolbox to somebody in mechanical and retire and become her dog walker. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm called Walker.
Because it's like, they're not worlds apart, because that is the world. But being floors apart is like being worlds apart, isn't it? Within the silo. So yeah, it's like
I can't even leave my room sometimes. Well, thank you both so much. You're amazing, as is the show. I cannot wait for hopefully many more seasons.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to know what happened here. For my friends, my family.